guys. How are ya? I had a day for the fam and to rest yesterday. I needed it. But while I was down, I got a lot of stuff ready for you. And then unbeknownst to me, a bunch of really dumb stuff happened. And so a prediction of mine has come true. Involving potatoes, the worst possible, most, you know, dug out of the ground kind of surface level thing anyone could possibly mention or talk about. I don't want to talk about potatoes, y'all. I don't care to talk about potatoes, y'all. It's too easy. It's too greasy. It's too cheesy. Just so you got my opinion, but you know, maybe we will. So I am worried though, because of course, okay, that's it. Fine. I'll do it. So what else do we got here today? Oh, Betty and Media Hat Boy. Menace to Sobriety did a great video. And I shared it with y'all, and we're going to take a look at it. It just is a really, really, really good. I can't say that, I can say that I laughed. Cherie, thank you. I didn't see it till just now. I had to get rid of the stinky jellyfish, y'all. It was too smelly. Smelly Belly. I had to get rid of Smelly Belly. Jelly Belly's still here, though. Jelly Belly's still here. But yeah, if you didn't see this video, it's so good. And it really kind of goes to show you what the difference is, I think, between drama, between maybe someone causing drama and using that to affect their content, and somebody reporting or discussing, showing you something, right? We might look into that. There might be a little overarching point there. I'm really trying to behave while I get this intro done to see if YouTube gives me that yellow thing or not. You hold my breath. Still holding my breath. Oh my, I gotta behave. I gotta keep. I notice when I'm loud and when I make a lot of jokes and when I'm laughing a lot in the beginning, YouTube doesn't like. So I'm gonna be nice and calm in the beginning of every stream. Not because I want to, but because I'm trying to not have that yellow issue. So if you haven't seen this video, we are going to skip through it here, but you have to go watch it. Menace is just taking off. And the reason he's taking off is because people click on his videos and they are blown away by the work. They're blown away by how... Let me give you a quick example. Now, when Menace makes a video, he is doing all of the work. He does everything. Like, he is this good. He renders this. He makes this. It's so cool looking. So cool looking. Wow. Isn't, I mean, just beautiful. All right. So we're going to take a look at this video. It's a great video, and it's a lot of you have seen it, but I'm only going to be showing you some. I'm going to be making some points with it. So basically, I just saw that Queen Bee was live. I love Queen. You love Queen. We love Queen. And Queen was talking about a content creator named Ski Mask Andy, and someone that decided not too long ago to go at Ski Mask Andy. So I have an opinion on that mess. And so I had gone in to Queen's chat and I just let Queen Bee know a fact, an easily provable fact, that both of them are trolls. And I think Andy wouldn't even get mad hearing anyone say that that's what he is, because of course he trolls a lot of people. So why would you get mad at if somebody says, oh, you're a troll, when you troll a lot of people? Now, I don't think a lot of people knew that the other individual involved in this story was also trolling and wasn't being honest. So I will call to one of my friends on the internet, who I think is just a really great creator, and she has a great mother. And I think, you know, when you have a great mother, you end up being a great person a lot of the time, or at least it's a lot easier, right? This is Julie. Remember when T-spiracy, what she was put through and still is put through by a group of people on the internet. She didn't ask for any of that. That she covered an interview that he did. And this content creator, Charlotte, kept covering mentally unstable people for content and money. Now it's coming back to bite her in the arse. She's asking for help from LawTube. I hope to God Nate the lawyer doesn't get tricked into giving attention to this subject, because you would be giving attention, of course, a lot of attention, not just to Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't deserve the attention. I don't feel happy for what is happening with her, but I don't even understand it yet. We'll get into that in a second. Julie kind of says it perfect here. Sorry, but what did you expect? So let me call to a prediction that I made a few months ago, and this might have been like 5 months ago. It would have been right around the time that Michelle was banned from YouTube. Remember Michelle Sabate? If I say her name wrong, y'all, please correct me. But Michelle, do you guys notice that I've lost a lot of weight? It turns out a lot of my bloatedness was had to do with my pain in my back. So as it's getting better, I'm returning to my normal size. I feel better. Anyway, I just looked at my little square here where it shows me, and I noticed, hey, I kind of don't look as fat as I did 3 days ago. But back to what I was saying, though, I made a prediction when Michelle Sabate was banned. Certain people, for some reason, were covering her. Okay, fine. Charlotte was covering her a lot. And I'd said, because Charlotte decided to start going at Andy, and I said, what? Why? Like, what's the point? I get it, maybe if you're going to make a point about him, but to sit here and, because what she was doing essentially was going at him, and he was turning around saying, listen, lady, I'm going to let this go, but you need to drop this, because, you know, he essentially was disavowing. He was angry at the fact that he even got involved in that sphere. He called it the drama sphere, the lady drama sphere or something. You can update me down in the chat. But when Charlotte had decided to keep going at him, oh, hey, Haley. Oh, thank you. Glad to have you back. When Charlotte decided to keep going at him, even though he had basically said, stop, you know, like, you don't want to do this type thing, I had made this prediction, because this is what Charlotte does. Charlotte will, for whatever reason, get herself into a mess and then expect everybody to bail her out of that mess. And so basically I thought, you know, why not ask y'all how you feel? Why don't we talk about that first? And that way you guys can even update me on maybe some of the other stuff you might want me to look at today, other than what I've got ready for you. So today, by the way, so that you know what we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you an update on Betsy and Media Hat Boy. We've got a whole bunch of, what the? So someone is threatening me in the name of LB, huh? When did this happen? So apparently UNIRock and Nonsense are bottom feeders. This person is an evil twit. I don't deal with evil twits. It's hey, I'm famous and rich and I have connections. Don't come at me or I'll F you up. What now? Yeah, it sounds like a wannabe, doesn't it? Where do these people get these potato heads? Like, does Molly give out a paper to her friends that says how to find potato heads when you need one? Because she must. She must instruct people on the art of finding potato heads. You know, it's easy. You don't need a paper to tell you how to find a potato head. All you got to do is go walk around in the woods or go walk around somewhere and just kick the dirt. You just kick the dirt away. Potatoes are very irrelevant. They're right at the surface of the dirt. You can find them anywhere. They're like onions. You got onions and you got potatoes. Same thing, kind of. Same thing. I could, oh my God, I do not want to show you this. Oh. Turns out that the potato heads are covered in STDs. By her own admission? Wait, so this isn't something someone else said about the potato heads. This is literally the potato heads got up on their stream and admitted that they're crawling in crabs and syphilis. What? I don't know if I even want to show you guys this. It'd be really funny. I can see how that would be a very funny, you know, when I think about bringing you a clip, bringing you a reaction, bringing you a little segment, I'm thinking about whether it'll entertain you. So that would be an entertaining clip, but I don't know if I can stomach that today. Wow. Okay. Why do they do this to themselves? Why do they embarrass themselves? You know what I'm saying? Look. I ain't saying that being covered in herpes and gonosyphilis is something that anyone should be advertising on their platform, okay? That's my point. I don't care what you do in your personal life, and I don't care if you got to take some antibacterial pills sometimes. I'm not judging anybody, but if you get up on YouTube and you go around telling everybody that, you know, you're like the most like awesome God, the God sent you to do what you're doing, which is what the potato head said. If you ever saw that clip, that's pretty funny. Now they're saying that God didn't bother to cure the gonosyphilis before sending them, which you would think that because I tried to tell them that God wasn't sending them, it was someone else that was sending them to do what they're doing. And if God had sent them, I'm sure he would have cured that when he sent them. Like, God's a nice guy. He is not going to send you to do his work while you're sick with those types of things. So I think that's more evidence that I was right. We've got the infamous, oh shoot, wow, y'all, okay, this is actually really important. I'm sorry, hold on. You know, when I yesterday I had gotten the whole stream ready for you, and then I decided not to go live. We were going to go live last night, so I'd forgotten that I have a stream for you about Aaron Carter, Nick Carter, Molly Golightly, and Melissa Schumann, and we're going to be looking at that today in this stream. So it's some important things you need to see. It's not going to be that long because since I decided not to do it last night, I've shortened it down. But you still have to hear it. You still got to see it. And I'm going to point you towards a video out there where you can actually get a lot of information. Instead of going through it with you, I'm going to point you towards a video. Okay. That's here in a minute though. So let me just make sure I got that up. Okay. Oh, yes. And then we've got, of course, if you saw my thumbnail, y'all know that Molly has decided that she was going to take this plane ride, and then she's going to take her mother's ashes with her, and she's going to Europe, and she's going to go take her mom's ashes and go on this trip. And she ended up missing her plane ride because she was shopping at Gucci for like a bucket or something. I forget the whole story. We're going to look at that today. But she ended up saying something that everybody out there in this community needs to know about. Oh, by the way, hit the like button for me while you're in here. Make sure you share. I should probably share this myself and let everybody know we're live too. I'll do that when we start the first video. But you all have already heard about her threatening to take down any channel that she can. And so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about if she can do that, if she has the power to do that, if she has the authority to do that, if it's right or wrong. And we'll talk about what you can do as a clip channel or greater, so clip channel or more, what you can do if she tries to take you down, okay? But that's just another segment. And we've got Begging Betty. That's going to be a funny segment in this stream, y'all. Begging Betty. Begging Betty. Okay, we got Begging Betty. And we've got Betty attacking me again. Now, I don't think we're going to look at Betty attacking me again today. Don't think we're going to look at it today. This one's only... Oh, that's the minute and 45-second Betty attacking me. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So before we do anything else, when I take days off, I'll typically come back and we'll start the stream with me going to the live chat to kind of get us started. Also, because when you take a day off of streaming, it'll take a little while for your notifications to shoot around, and I want to give people time to come in before we start the first segment in case they want to see it live. They want to be here live. So I want to talk to you. So if you have anything you want to say to me, if there's something you saw that you want me, of course, to look at today or whatever, type it in the chat now. Put it in there now. If you before we even get started, before you do anything, because I was off, I'm going to give you guys free rocks. And you know that if you want rocks, you got to type or emoji in the chat to get those rocks. And as soon as I give the rocks, and as soon as I come back from the musical interlude, is when we're going to talk to the live chat, then start with what we're looking at. So if you're watching the replay, you can fast forward right now until you see me reacting to the first video. Let's get going. Free rocks. If you want rocks, you got to type in the chat to get them. Free rocks, type or emoji, get them. So here we go. I'm going to be giving these rocks fast, y'all. Go. All right. Loaded up, ready to rock. Okay. Here comes the free rock countdown starting in 5 seconds. Paid out. All right. So the chat is going to start to calm down after the rocks. So as the chat calms down, if you have a topic or if you have something you want to let me know that happened, something to ask me, something to bring up, type at rockAlot and then tell me what you want to say. You can go ahead and do that now. I'm going to just look through the chat here and see what you guys are saying. Then we're going to get right into the reaction. Again, if you're watching the replay, you should still be skipping forward until you see me like this reacting to the first video. CR, thank you for joining. Thank you for the support, y'all. I really mean it. And I'm so glad you joined right then because you've reminded me to put my links in the chat and then put them at the top of the chat, which is very important for me to do at the end of the month, especially when I didn't stream for 2 days. So if you want to support me, you can at paypal.me/UNIRock or $UNIRock or $UNIRACHEL on Cash App. All of these are in the description. You can do it for free, though, by liking, subscribing, sharing, and making sure you're subbed to rockAlot and UNIRock2, following us on TikTok, and all the other social media places that you can find in the About section. So let me see what you guys are saying, and then we're going to get moving. So supposedly, while I give you guys time to bring up some stuff, Nonsense has been ruffling some feathers, guys. And I didn't see Nonsense's last video. I'm going to have to catch up on it. I want to, if you guys know, why are people, especially the potato head type people, so mad at Nonsense? Why is LB mad at Nonsense? Why is LB mad at me? Really weird. It seems like she would have learned her lesson by now. Again, LB thinks that I don't know what she says and does in the background. She does a lot of stuff, she's a different person. One thing you're going to know if you ever get into my Discord if you ever come in when I'm in there like playing a video game or talking, you're going to hear the same person there, and we're going to talk about content. And if we talk about anything. But when you notice these other people, when they're not on their stream, they're completely different, y'all. They're very two-faced individuals. I mean, that's just something people know about her anyway. But it really goes to that line when it comes to people like, LB. Anyway, this show today isn't about LB. I could give you a whole show about LB. I'm not going to right now. And we'll do that here sometime this week, next week. Who knows? It looks like we're good. We're caught up in the chat. Did I pin it? I pinned a link. We're caught up in the chat. Let's see. She straightened you out too. Oh, did she? LB did. Maybe that's why then. Okay. Okay. I'll have to ask my peeps what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I get into Discord, I'll have to ask them what in the world that was about. So supposedly now, Menace, one of our good friends, someone that I hope you guys decide to support and follow, because Menace is someone who's just a straight shooter. He's going to tell you what he thinks about something. He's going to give you the evidence why. He's very much like Queen Bee. Queen is very evidence-based. Menace is very evidence-based. I'm very evidence-based. And we care more about talking to you about things that are going on out in the community, what actually is happening with content, than we care about all this other garbage. You'll kind of notice that people out there that have a problem with Menace and nonsense, and I will stretch it and even to say myself, aren't evidence-based. So here's an example. Turns out a potato head, after admitting that she's covered in STDs, I don't know why she admits this. It's just factual to say this. Accused Nonsense and Nunya of doxing someone named Penelope. If you recall, just a dumb mess. Now, the potato head admitted that they had no evidence and that their only proof was that Nunya and Nonsense were the only two people that didn't like Penelope. Now, this is something that people like Penelope do. Penelope was the person that doxed Nonsense. And when doxers dox somebody, they're pretty much going to Darvo at the same time. So they're going to take the person that they've doxed, who is their victim, like with Betty and JLR. You just saw a clip of Betty where she claimed that I was calling into her show. I had called her phone or whatever she said. And that is her Darvoing. She doxes me and my family, her and JLR, and then wants to further the harassment by trying to convince people that in fact she's the victim and that somehow I did it. That's the same thing that Penelope did to Nonsense. She just did it all at once. So she goes out and doxes her, gives it to Molly and Betty. Betty and Molly both did videos where they did what they did to This is something of the past, you recall? Okay, so you're following me? All right, good. So I guess Nunya did a video yesterday where she completely destroyed the potato heads. Just absolutely destroyed them, and I'm really glad that Nunya did that. Standing up against these people, okay, so if Nonsense had taken the potato heads and went live and just completely decimated them, Nonsense would give the potato heads what the potato heads want. They want to be brought up on that channel. They are so jealous of the people that watch Nonsense or whoever it is they're mad at. They want to engage with that person and hope to God that they're going to get mentioned, because they want their audience, they want the audience to get mad. They want Nonsense's audience to get mad and go give them views and clicks and help boost them up by doing that. So I don't worry about y'all that watch me doing the same thing. I don't worry about that. I know y'all are a little more, put together than some of the, when it comes to, and the reason is because you're not in it. If it was me, if I'm talking about myself, I'm going to do exactly that. That's the smartest thing to do, right? Y'all are on the external is what I'm trying to say. So you're not directly involved. Now, if it did involve me and I bring it up, then I have to worry about y'all going and doing that. And so it's a really smart thing, in my opinion, that it was handled, and it was handled to a complete destruction. It was just completely decimated. But what I'm not showing you this because I want you to know what happened with Penelope and the potato head, the STP, the ST potato head, okay? What I care, though, is that you know a little sequence of events. So here's the sequence of events. First, they dox nonsense and they try to lie and turn nonsense into, they Darvo nonsense into the bad guy, okay? So then, of course, Nunya decimates their lies. Nunya proves them liars yesterday, from what Menace says. So this would have been the 27th, okay? So then Menace, watching it, posts a tweet about it, though he continues, and he kind of makes fun of them and pokes at them. He says something really, I think, that really upset them. He says, you could end up with something like syphilis that results in serious impairment of your cognitive abilities and end up turning into a potato. Protect the fish, then dip it in the dish. Wrap your bait before you mate. Avoid the frown. Contain your clown. Menace, if you didn't see his last video, he is on fire. And I'm going to show it to you in a minute. It is hilarious. He just, I can't even explain it. So I've just showed you that from Menace. What I want you to know is, because Menace put that out on Twitter, the potato heads decided that they were going to literally lose their minds and scream and yell and just go completely flip-tastic on Menace. So they uploaded a video that doesn't, it's just this rambling, angry, just nasty, vitriolic, just like video against Menace. And that's what I mean in starting off this stream and just trying to give a little bit of a thought process to Menace. Has based his opinion. He's posted his opinion due to a factual thing happening, and he's given a good take to it. So when they fire back at him, not only do they take it too far, not only does their anger cause them to go and just make, respond as they did. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't want to give it attention. But they're led by their emotions. They are upset. They're angry. They're hurt. Their feelings are hurt, and they're led by their emotions. So to give you an example, I could play through Menace's response to Betty, and I might later in this stream. But what's important, I think, is that you need to see this part. Okay, so let's start right here. Just for the hell of it, let's start right here. Kill the music. It gets so good. Here we go.
Let's do it.
White power.
Yes.
And you tell your friend she can kiss my white ass.
Nobody wants to do that, Betsy. Nobody wants to do that, Betsy. Cackle. Cackle, cackle, cackle. I heard that, Barbie. I heard that. Was it involving, maybe you can tell me in the chat really quick, was it involving the assault against the protester? Guys, will you let me, hey BCP, what's up, bro? Yeah, let me know if it, is this the case involving our, involving him assaulting a protester? It is. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Barbie. Thank you. I thought it was. I just want to be sure. I want to be safe. Okay.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
All right. We're going to segue into Dolly Vision here.
This is where it gets, this is so hilarious.
But first, a message from today's sponsor, Menace to Sobriety's PayPal. In a world filled with grifters, one man stands out as exceptionally grifty. Menace to Sobriety, the creator that spends your donations on absolutely nothing important as he dismembers the narratives of tragedy pimps and skeezers far across the interwebs.
I get so jealous when I watch his content because he has such good ideas, and I'm like, I want that idea.
You too can support
Why didn't I think of that?
the grift at www.paypal.me/original menace.
And guys, listen, Menace is a good dude to support. He really is a good guy to support. I am too, but he is too.
There's some people still big mad today, and I don't understand what's going on. You know, look.
Yes, you do. I don't know why you can't be honest. I don't know why you gotta. I get it, bro. You're getting up there in age. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I get that, but bro, come on now.
I asked these ladies real nicely, go behind the scenes and work it out. Okay.
He asked these ladies really nicely to send him nude pictures, even though they kept saying no. And he asked them really nicely not to tell anyone to keep a secret. And that's what he's mad about. They didn't keep a secret.
Okay. Right? Now, that didn't turn into attack Dolly. Okay.
Attack you. How in the world is putting out proof of what they're saying? Well, I've never seen any of them actually respond. Have you seen any of them? Like, the more that I watch Molly and Dolly and Betty and JL, more that I watch these people that call themselves YouTubers all the time, and then they say how much better YouTubers they are than anyone else. I've never seen them actually respond. They always lie, or they misrepresent, or they don't give you the complete thing, right?
Dolly.
Round 1, fight.
Oh, and these ladies came out fighting all right.
Oh, yeah.
They just bit down on their mouth guards and swung for the fences. So for those who didn't know, Dolly's majority female mods jumped ship on him, and they showed up on Joneson's panel spilling some of that creep tea.
Oh, and they did.
Seems as if old Dolly's using his viewer base and mods as an avenue to solicit nudes.
Guys, do me a favor, okay? Don't let a YouTuber do this to you. Do not let them get you to send private anything to them, because I get it. It will happen. You'll form relationships. You will want to support people. You will, form friendships. I understand. Though you do need to look at whether they have those kind of things out there about them. You have to know whether they themselves I'm saying, don't listen to anyone telling you that they did something. Listen to them. With these people, they all say it. They all say that they will dig on you. They don't have a respect to any privacy. They admit this.
Now, either he thinks he's got some level of celebrity status that leaves women falling at his feet, or he thinks he's God's gift to women.
I think it's both. Like, I really think that somehow these narcissists figured out a way to bond together into a group.
Either
narcissists in the air.
Either way, these ladies were sharing some next level creeptastic tea with Joneson's audience.
Yeah.
Turns out he's out there damn near begging for snipper pics on these YouTube
Amberly, I completely agree.
streets.
Begging. Like, they say, hey, no, we need to have a relationship before we do anything like that. And it'll be like 3 seconds later. You know what I'm saying? Like, has it been long enough? Have we developed a relationship in these 3 seconds?
Can't say it's surprised anyone, but it's still pretty cringe.
Also, I can't fathom that somebody would just stay with someone who is doing this nonstop. So disrespectful.
And not only did they spill the tea, apparently, at least one of them even notified his girlfriend.
And again, like, wow. Like, she should have been out the door that second. It's sad.
And let her know what he's been up to. So I don't know what he done did to these ladies, but they are some women scorned.
Oh, they are.
Trust me, there's plenty of women that hit on Dolly.
Trust you. I would have to. I would have to trust you. Listen, I don't think I'm God's gift to women. I don't even think I'm good looking. I'm older now, right? I get it. I have accepted the fact that I age, okay? But Dolly, you talk like you're literally, if I was Molly, you talk like you're Tom Cruise, all right? You talk like you're rich, you're famous, and that you're just like, you know, next level. Like I get it. You're using a webcam that only goes up to like 400p. So your webcam makes you really blurry, that you don't have a 1080p anything going on, but it's not even doing you any favors. Typically it would do you favors, right? It's not even doing you any favors.
Constantly. Okay, so I don't be sliding into DMs like you think I got to.
Yes, you do. You beg. You not only slide in the DMs, you beg. You turn into a simp. It's what we call a simp, almost like a pimp, but with an S in front of it.
Oh, I'm sure, Dolly. Your fucking hairline's been running away from you faster than the women in your community. For fuck's sakes, your hairline's so far back there, people can see it when they're standing behind you. Dollar store Jesse Pinkman looking ass. I don't know.
Dollar store Jesse Pinkman looking ass. Dollar store Jesse Pinkman looking ass. Menace needs an award. There needs to be an award for this video.
What do y'all think? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comments below. Are women hitting on him left, right, and center or what? I mean, the fucking guy sits there in his sunglasses, looking like a testicle cosplaying as Maverick from Top Gun.
Oh my God, a testicle cosplaying as Maverick from Top Gun. Oh my, the peak content right here.
While thinking he's a ladies' man and trying to secure all these nudie pics. I actually heard he almost landed himself some new nudes the other day, but then Chris Hansen had him take a seat. Look, Dolly, I'm going to give you some advice. When a woman says you're making me uncomfortable, they're not flirting with you, bud. I bet you fall asleep to the sound of screaming women, don't you?
Oh,
I'm so
Lord.
confused. I don't understand why any women sent him pictures like that in the first place. I mean, Dolly's a perfect example of why cousins shouldn't fuck. Like, I've seen bodies pulled from rivers that were in better shape than him.
Oh,
And now,
so good. So
a
good.
special announcement from our old friend, Molly Golightly.
So yeah.
Okay, so I do have to admit that I didn't just show you that clip because it's hilarious and super duper funny. It's all of those things. And I love it so much, this video that Menace did. You have to watch it. Mods, share that link for me so that after the stream, everybody can make sure they've seen this because it's so good. Because in the beginning of this, he completely dismantles Betty. All of her BS. All of her lies, all of her garbage over responding. It's the clip that me and Navy reacted to, but he does it in video form. So I very much appreciate that. Though, he goes into the comedy segment against Dolly Vision, which is perfect in my opinion, because it represents why Dolly looks so silly. He does look so silly sitting there acting like this. You know, do you guys think that Tom Cruise, do you think that God's gift to women, would ever slide into someone's DMs and beg them like that? Yes, Dolly, yes. In fact, people have said this about you for years. You do this like every 3 days. There's another person that comes out and says this. Most of us just ignore it as content creators because it happens so often. But that's not the important part. You need to hear what Molly said. We might as well get this out of the way. And yes, this is a segment about Molly Golightly that I'm doing after she was banned. So here we go. And this is very important. I think this is very important. I hope that the content creators in the community will keep an eye out and keep the other clip channels out there. I don't care if it's a clip channel that likes me. I don't care if it's a clip channel that doesn't like me. I don't care, but I hope the clip channels, we keep an eye on them and make sure that if they need help, we help them because they don't deserve this treatment that you're about to hear. Here it comes.
Announcement from our old friend, Molly Golightly.
So yeah, I'm gonna be tomorrow night on the plane. I'm gonna pay for the Wi-Fi, and I'm just gonna report every single clip channel that's messing with Bullhorn Betty, Laura, me, Justin, and just people in general.
You're going to report them. You're going to false report these channels because you're mad that they exist after you. So you're mad because they can upload, but you can't. You're mad because they're not banned. They had this thing in their head that anyone that covered them would be banned or would have to delete their content or would have to stop talking about them if they ever got banned. And they said this all the time until it turned into a rumor. And while it is true to some extent that you can't show, like, if they were to break TOS, you have to make sure to censor it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just show them doing the worst things without making sure that you've censored it and done what you're supposed to do. Outside of that, you are allowed. Somebody could come up right now and they could do videos, an entire channel about how Molly did what she did while she was on YouTube, because it's a history. It's something that happened. Just because she got banned, it doesn't mean that a commentator can't sit down and tell the story of when Molly was on YouTube. It's just she is now, because I think she's been trying to take down channels and it's not worked, because YouTube is kind of started to try, and this is kind of shocking for me to say out loud, but they're trying to fix their platform. And I'm not saying that they're having the best luck with it, but they're at least trying. But no, so she's very jealous. She's very mad.
I'm just going to report their channels, exactly what I was told to and the way to do it.
Well, I've been telling you how to report people that break the rules since the beginning, when I started commentating on this community. And I was right. But it doesn't mean that you can break people who aren't breaking the rules, or that you can report people who aren't breaking the rules and get them kicked. You can't. Even if you were to manipulate the system in a way to get a clip channel to go down, if that clip channel did nothing wrong, they can just appeal what you did and get their channel back up. So again, this does say a lot, though. I think it goes a lot to show. Everybody sat and listened to Molly. Remember how she was invincible? She could never be taken down. She can do whatever she wants. Betty's the same way. Betty thinks that she's never done anything wrong, and she can never be struck. She could never have any consequence to any of the stuff she does. And just so that you make sure to update that in your head, they were lying. They were not invincible. They were, they had to adhere to the same rules as everybody else. They were manipulating the rules, breaking the rules. They were taking measures to try and hide the fact that they had broken the rules from YouTube, as we all had seen.
Well, I'm going to keep on doing it. And then when I get back, I'm going to keep on doing it.
I know, but luckily you can't false report people. And now that you've admitted to this, if you do false report somebody and you do find a way to do it, they're going to have a very easy, let's say, a very easy defense is what I'll say. Very, very
Where's
easy.
Justin? Oh, he's been working.
So there.
Justin's been working. So you're still lying to everybody. We just took a look at what Justin's been up to in our last stream, and it was boring as hell. But anyway, I'll let
You have
finish.
it, folks. She's coming for us. Before you know it, we'll all be tits up on these YouTube streets. Time to find a new profession, I guess.
Menace is killing it. It's his writing. It sets him apart. It's not just his writing. It is his writing. It's his graphics, his animation. He's really good. He takes the time to do this kind of stuff, which I used to myself. I've made all my graphics, but I really don't spend a lot of time in the graphic programs anymore. It takes a lot of time and energy. It's really hard to learn. It's really hard to do it. So he definitely deserves a subscription, and he deserves you guys to check him out. So do that, because I think you won't be disappointed. Anyway, so what have we looked at so far? We looked at the fact that the potato heads admitted that they have a bunch of STDs for some reason. When people started laughing at them for it, and when they started to make fun of them for the fact that they admitted to all of this and talked the way they talked and acted the way they acted, they got really sensitive and triggered. They went and started to accuse. It's almost like it's their self-defense mechanism. When they get upset, they just start accusing other people of things. And because they had accused nonsense, the wrong one, that they shouldn't have lied on her and played that game, Nunya came in and smacked them down with facts and evidence. And it sent them into an uber triggering where then when Menace came in and, you know, laughed at them for it, they took shots at Menace, okay? True, Booty. I mean, that's true. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because then after that, just to make sure you guys log that, that they are triggered. When they are triggered, they like to lie. When they are upset, when they're mad, they like to go out and create these emotionally led, very disgusting videos. That led into us showing you Menace's comedy routine, but then Molly Golightly sitting on Kick, going live on Kick. So she is still enjoying the ability to go live somewhere. Even though I don't think Kick would even let her on that platform if they knew what just happened on YouTube. And a lot of people are letting Molly go to Kick without reporting her to Kick or even Patreon just because they're trying to just move on. They're not trying to be what Molly is, which is obsessed with Molly or go too far. They're saying maybe Molly will learn her lesson. Molly has not learned her lesson. Molly will never learn her lesson. Molly wants this realization that Molly's had. She's realized I was wrong about being invincible, and I was wrong about all of the times I broke the rules and I lied and I did all these things. Molly's realized that she was wrong for it. And instead of trying to make up for that or fix it or anything, she decides that she wants to inflict upon clip channels, as she calls it. Now, you realize what she means by clip channels. She means anybody that she doesn't like. If she can get their channels taken down, she's going to try to, right? So if you guys see a clip channel go down, or if you see any channel in the community go down, make sure that you let the other creators know what happened. Because the creators in the community have lives, they have families. Some of them have jobs other than YouTube, some of them don't. But the main thing to kind of understand is that even if they're not paying attention all the time and they're not looking at what happens all the time, we don't want people to lose their channels. As I've said this whole time about Molly, about anyone, this includes people like Molly. We don't want anyone to lose their channels. Though if someone is going to do what Molly and Betty and JLR are doing, they do have to deal with the consequences of that. So we need to make sure that we have this clip. We have to have this clip. I'm sitting here showing you and you can't see it. This clip of Molly saying this is going to be very important if she starts throwing around false strikes or if she starts going around trying to take people down, okay? Because what she's doing is, I think she's given up on YouTube. She's not trying to come back. She's not trying to give it a year and then go, like a lot of creators have, go to YouTube and they'll say, listen, I was banned. I'm going to start a new channel. I'm going to have a new business with a channel and I'm not going to break the rules. I've learned my lesson. And I've seen people come back. I've mentioned their names. I'll give you one example so I don't have to ramble. 8 Thoughts. He came back in his new channel. He actually has been permitted to start a new AdSense account and make content. He's almost recovered 60,000 of his 300 and some thousand subs, and he's moving up and up and up. So it happens where YouTube will let you come back after enough time has passed. I think Molly has given up on that. I don't know if she thinks that it's not worth it. Maybe she thinks that she would never be allowed to come back. I'm not sure. Either way, though, her mechanism of coping is vengeance. She wants revenge. She is angry. She's jealous that the clip channels can still upload. She's jealous that people can still talk about their heels on the ground group. And in order for her, it drives her so up the wall. She's driven so crazy at the fact that people can still upload, but she can't. She wants to falsely take them down. All right. No, and that's very true, Haley. Kick is more of a gaming site. And that's the only reason why I like having a Kick account, because I like playing games and streaming games with a community. I got a little community of gamers that I hang out with. So if you're not a gamer, I could see how people don't want to make a gaming they don't want to make a profile on a gaming site, because there's not that many shows that broadcast on Kick. There's a lot of gamers and a lot of, let's say, like IRL streamers that have picked up Kick accounts. But yeah, when it comes to shows, it hasn't taken off. Okay, so we talked about the other day, and it's a pretty big topic in the community right now, because we talked about Molly Golightly. We're going to move from Molly into another topic that has to do with her, but she's not the backbone of. And it's the topic that got Molly a restraining order, a successful, real restraining order against her. And this restraining order is for harassment, bullying, and all the things that we watched her do to a person named Melissa Schumann. So I've been educating myself on Melissa Schumann, what happened to her, why some people look at Melissa Schumann as someone that is either telling the truth about what happened to her, and why there are people that look at Melissa Schumann as someone that's lying. And there's a lot of people that look at what's going on with Melissa Schumann and that fit the category that I fit in, where I don't know what to think. I'm just basically looking at these people make these claims and going from there. So let's pull this up and let you take a look at this video. Dang it, I kind of want to show you her Betty e-begging. Yeah, let's do that first. So, real quick, before we go into this video about Molly and Schumann and all of that, I want you to see that it's not just that she is threatening to falsely strike channels on her Kick streams. She also is giving super chats through her life coaching for kids channel, a channel that, by the way, she shouldn't even be using right now. I'm reporting all bully and clip channels on my plane ride. Bully channels? Bully channels? So you're gonna report Betty? And why are you gonna report Betty? It's working. Report the channel, not the video. It's not working. You're lying. You haven't successfully taken any channel down. But, you know, she's got to play this game. She's got to lie. She's got to BS. She says, no doxing. Just wait. These people love messing with the wrong people. And really, she's describing herself. This is her projecting. No, you love messing with people, and you love messing with the wrong people. People are allowed to talk about you when your channel grows, people are going to talk about you. If you grow a channel to almost 100,000 subs and then get banned for showing the license and doxing and harassment of one of your tenants as a landlord, people are going to talk about it. If you're going to run fraud raisers, people are going to talk about it. It's guaranteed to happen. It's guaranteed to happen even if other content creators from other communities don't talk about it. There will be people in your own community that are going to make videos and talk about it. And you have to want that. If you're wanting a channel that has subs, you're going, that comes along with it, right? You yourself made your early channel talking about other channels, but now no one's allowed to talk about you, right? We get what you're doing. You're coping. This is you coping. So we've got this interesting clip from Betty, and I would just like to get it out of the way, honestly. So let's just listen to it.
And I've been inside quite a lot over the last year. So, trying to find those things, we're definitely, and that brings me to another thing. I just want to thank to all of the people in here that are contributing to the Idaho trip for June. I do.
Contributing to the trip. The Idaho trip for June. You're contributing. That's what you call it. Contribute. Contributions to your trip. What do you do with the money you make? Why doesn't the money that you make pay for your trips? Why is it that you have to, you make money off of doing your channel. That money disappears. You get contributions, you get tips, whatever you call it. It disappears. Because then when you go on a trip, you have to go out and incite your audience to pay for it. It's a little strange, but...
I appreciate that. We did raise, just yesterday alone, raised $150. I retallied everything up, and it looks...
So don't let her tell you that it's not a fundraising situation. It is absolutely a fundraising situation.
Looks like it's going to be about little under $1,400. So I figured if the channel raise has...
It's $1,400 for you to go to Idaho. So let me think about this. I mean, I don't know how long of a drive it's going to be, but let's give you $300 or $400 in gas. Now that's me giving you a lot of money for gas. $300 or $400 in gas. Where does this other $1,000 come in when you're just going to hang around there for a few days and leave? It's what you've done every other time. You never see any live streams of you from these nice hotels. You never, like the money you make, you do pocket a large portion of it. What do you do with it? Amberly says she sent her laptop back and said she used the cash for stuff she needed. She needs to pay her credit cards. She also bought like a 72-inch TV. She is wanting to fly. She's flying. Exactly. So if she's flying, it's even cheaper than gas. I was giving her gas just to be nice, because going from where she is to Idaho and back, a couple $100 for both tickets, like 180 something for a one-way, and you got to have two. So yeah, it's even worse if she's flying. And so Betty is someone who I think we're going to have a lot of fun with tracking her fundraising and tracking the actual fundraising situations where she is raising funds for specific things compared to her making money doing what she does. Because those are two different things. There's a lot of creators like myself out there where we don't run fundraisers. We let you donate. Speaking of which, we've been live for an hour now. So if you like what I do, you could support me on PayPal and CASHAPP. I almost did it again. At the top, you'll notice it's pinned to the top. And when you do that, it just, goes towards the show. With Betty, on the other hand, she's always coming up with a trip, coming up with a large amount of money that she wants for the trip, but you never see her spending that money. You never hear her talking about spending the money. It's really weird. It really starts to make me think that she has taken on JLR's little way of looking at his audience, right? It's just a group of people that you're trying to corral together, that you can lie to them whenever you need to lie to them to get as much money as you can.
Half of it, I'll pay for half of it as well. So right now.
Wait, you're paying for half of it as well? That doesn't make sense. What? $1,400 and then you just said to pay for half of it? That doesn't make any sense. Say that again.
So I figured if the channel has half of it, I'll pay for half of it as well. So right now.
That doesn't make sense because you shouldn't even be doing extra fundraising for this. You brag about how big your channel is. You brag about how much money you make. You say that everybody's jealous of you for making this money. And then you take what you could be tracked for making last month and now look at what you are trying to do with the money. And now you're claiming that $1,400 is half of what you need or some shit. And now, you're going to pay half of it yourself or whatever. This is you making stuff up. This is you making it up off the top of your head. You're just saying this stuff to try to incite donations. You're just talking to try to get people to give you money. You haven't sat down and calculated anything. You're not fooling anybody.
Now our new goal is $550 that we need to raise, but this is the deal. We need to raise it in the next 2 weeks because I got to make accommodations. Otherwise, every day the airfare is getting more and more expensive. It just goes up like $10, $20 almost every day. So the longer we wait, the more expensive it's going to be. So
the longer we wait, why do they have to pay for you to do this stuff? I thought you were a media or a reporting agency. I've never seen any reporting agency do this. And it's really starting to make sense. Like, it's really coming together, the grift you have going on and the way that you operate the grift. Because it makes sense now that you lie so much. Like, let's say when it comes to the Idaho story where you went there to talk about Koberger and you put out just a bunch of lies. You put out stuff about him being at this place. You put out stuff about, I could go back and you can find it on this channel where we have debunked every one of these little things that she did and said the audio, him being at this place, this happening, it was all a lie. And then people let her know it's a lie. And then she says, oh, you're bullying me by letting me know that I'm lying to everybody. But now it's even worse, Betty. I don't think you understand the fact that you are fundraising to go do these trips puts into question what you're doing on these trips to a greater degree because these people have paid you to go do this. So when you lie while you've fundraised to go do this, you are lying when you put out lies. Okay, so let's pretend you do the same thing with this trip that you did last time you went to Idaho. You put out 4 complete and utter lies and you don't correct them. You don't take them down. So you let them sit and make money. When you put them out, you go live and then try to make money while you're putting them out. And then when people let you know that you are lying and they bust you, you try to dox those people and you go after those people. Now it's made your doxing, your e-begging, and your actions in relation to a fundraiser on top of the fact that it's in relation to just you doing this in general. You see what I'm trying to say? When you went to Idaho and you had lied about these things and you got busted, when we didn't factor the fact that you had used Idaho as a collection of money, right? Now you've lied, that you've collected this money to go to Idaho. It makes sense too why you lie. Because now you can't just go to Idaho and do anything normal. You're going to have to go to Idaho, and now people are saying, I paid you to go. I funded you to go. We expect you to make major discoveries, and that's why you've got to fake the discoveries. In your mind, for the people that gave money in your audience, if they believe the audio you put out, if they believe the Brian Koberger story that you lied about, that you invented, then now they're saying, good, she did something good with the money I gave her to go to Idaho. She made these discoveries. But when all of those discoveries to turn out to be lies, now they're lies in perpetration of a fraud raiser on top of the fact of that they're lies. Anyway.
Just FYI, if you guys would like live coverage of the preliminary hearing, obviously it's a hot topic. You know, is Bethany Funk going to show up?
This is disgusting. How are you permitted to be able to use someone's death to raise money directly? Because that's the accusation, Betty. Tragedy pimping is criticized by huge amounts of people in big communities because, oh, guys, hey, we only have a few more likes till we hit 100. If you just came in, I just noticed a bunch of people just came in. Hit the thumbs up for me. You know, do you get the point I'm making here? Like, for tragedy pimping is bad because you're using a death, but you're using that person's death, and you're trying to act like you're doing something other than tragedy pimping, other than clickbaiting the death in order to get money by using the death to pull people in so that you can fake them out with your lie of a LARP of a channel and job in order to collect cash. You see what I'm saying? So that's tragedy pimping. Now you're tragedy fraud raising. You're using a murder and saying, do you want me to cover a murder? I'm using this death. I'm using the unfortunate thing that happened to get you to send me money. Or I guess you don't want live coverage. There's already live coverage. There's lots of news agencies. Your Honor, I do not want custody, nor do I believe I should be required to pay child support to this. Yep, no court order, Betty. Not our responsibility. Oh my God, Wicked. You're hilarious. No, but I get what you're saying. Exactly. I wouldn't want to pay her. I wouldn't want to fundraise money to her for her to go to Idaho and lie more about, you know, the coverage of the trial when she's already went and lied before the trial started. And I mean, hell, lying. She put out audio that was put out in November the year before and tried to claim that it was audio of these people dying. And it wasn't real audio. When we debunked it, we showed the exact audio being posted on the internet from a year before. It was on TikTok, right? And we went and said, this is the audio that you're claiming came from that night, but this audio existed on the internet a year before. Take it down. Stop lying and using these people's deaths to lie to make money. She wouldn't take it down. She changed the name of the video, thinking that it would fool people. Oh, they're going to look and see that the video's not there and think I took it down. But no, we actually used the link of the video to see if it was there or not. And that link took us to the same video, public on your channel, with the same everything. It was just you changed the name to try to fool people. And this goes to show intent. It shows that she has the intent of lying, the intent of clickbaiting, the intent of using this tragedy to profit. And using the tragedy, like, how do you profit? Now, do you recall? Oh my God, I just had a realization. Do you remember how she said that she's better than other YouTubers because she actually goes? You can't claim that because the only reason you're going is because you're begging. You say that you going to the scene somehow equates to you being a better YouTuber. You're better than these other YouTubers because you went to the scene. Red Bull fuel up. Great job, Uni. Well, thank you, Haley, but I appreciate you very much. But you guys understand where I'm coming from, right? You don't get props for going to the scene of the crimes to report or whatever you're doing when you're not the one that is responsible for you to go, right? You're not the one paying to go. And then if you do a good job while you're there, you put out a lot of truthful content, you impress people with your coverage, they're going to tip you, they're going to support you to go do it more. That's not what's happening, guys. She's triple dipping. She's double dipping and triple dipping. So she's advertising, I deserve to be paid because I go and report, right? And you should think I'm a good YouTuber because I do my content, I make money, I go and report, I make more money, and I'm a business, I'm media. No, you're not, because you sit and beg and lie while you're begging in order to get people to pay for your trip for you. So it's not your channel or your business paying for you to go to the scene. It is someone else's job giving you some money that's paying for you to go to the scene. You're fundraising it. And you're not, and because you've lied, because you don't correct your lies, and because you keep putting out misinformation, disinformation, and conspiracy theories with these trips that you're funding from these people, it is fraudulent. It is wrong. And a lot of people get pissed because Betty will get mad. You can't call it a fraud raiser. You can't say it's fraudulent. Yes, I can, because I am speaking of you using people's money. Let's look at the definition of fraud. Wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain, or a person or thing intended to deceive others, typically or unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. Fraud is where you gain money, make money, take money while lying, deceiving people and being dishonest so that you can profit, so that you can have money coming in that you get to do what you want with, right? So the point here is with her doing fraud raisers in order to go and do it, and then those lies being what she reports while she's there. Now, it doesn't just say something bad about the trip. It also says that she defrauded people with the money she raised to make the trip, okay? It's an additional issue. It shows that there's more of an issue.
What's going to take place at that hearing? I want to be there, and we've got the cost down very, very, very reasonable.
You don't. It's not reasonable at all. At all. If it was reasonable, why can't you show us where the money is going? You've got $1,700 that you're saying you need to be able to go to Idaho and report. So why don't you have it itemized? Why don't you show us how much money is there for lodging? How much money is there for travel? What else? Where else is this? Honestly, if I wanted to, I could do it right now. Let's see. Let's get the most cheapest and most kind of thing we can do here. So let's go with Florida. Let's just do Fort Myers and let's go to Boise. I don't know. And let's do it for a month from now. So let's do, instead of May, let's do here, June. Yeah, bam, find deals. It's loading. Give it a second. Okay, so yeah, exactly what I thought. You got to pay about $100 to $200 one way and back. Now, this is not me getting the best deal. I'm sure I could get it down to $100 one way and $100 back, or maybe 120 and 120. So I could definitely probably, let's just say $400 for a flight, $400 for gas, $400 for a flight, right? Infamous says, I don't know if you recall the last time she went to Idaho, she flew and all she did was complain, and she refuted the charges on her credit card for the flight and was going to drive from then on. I remember that. It's just I didn't remember it until you said it, but you're right. And do you recall her trying to get out of paying the hotel? Remember that? So the thing is, Betty is not professionally. Oh, never mind. I found it cheaper right there. I just didn't look at this page. So yeah, I was correct. We're going to give it to her for $400. We're going to say $400. And that's probably the most expensive for her. If she, to reserve the flight and get it all taken care of, it's going to be around $400. But she said she needs $1,700, so there is $1,300 more dollars. Does anybody know how many days she plans on being there? Because that should be a big deal. And, remember that hotel? She had stayed at a hotel that was like $48 a night. So, and she only stayed 3 days. So that's only, what, $150. So she goes for 3 days. She spends $150 on the hotel, $400 on the flight, $650. She's trying to say she needs $1,700. The hearing is June 26th. I thought all the hotels were sold out, says Rock Chalk. They probably are. They probably are. I don't even think I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't just sleep in her car. You know, I wouldn't be shocked if if this isn't just a complete con. It's already a con because she's not reporting. Reporting is unbiased. Reporting is telling people what's going on, and it's truthful, honest, and it's unbiased. So you take reality of what happened and you give it to people. Now, if you want to give your opinion, if you want to try and give other information, other things, that's fine. But she doesn't even give that basic baseline reporting. Do you remember when she was on scene filming the cleaners leaving, and she was trying to say that the cleaners leaving and blah, 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 and all this garbage, and she reports these things as if they're these big reportable incidents. So she's standing there. She has wasted the money to be standing there. It takes money to stand there, especially when it's not her money, right? I sent Cherie with the Expedia. Oh, good. I'll see if she'll drop it in general for me. Let me make sure I'm in the bottom of. Let me get over to general so that if she wants to drop it, I'll be able to see it. There we go. Okay. I will not click it. I refuse to click and hear about potato heads contracting STDs. I know it's real. I know it's real. I know that potato heads have contracted these STDs. I do not want to hear about it right now myself. Maybe another time. Yeah, Haley, that's true too. I've seen that happen. Yeah. So let's say that she is going to go stand outside of the house where things happened. And she's just standing out there. While she's standing there, that is money that's been spent. When she chooses to report on something, it's money that's been spent. Now, if she paid this herself, then that would be her money. If she took her profits from streaming and her profits from YouTube and then used those profits to go to Idaho or go to a different location, that would be one thing. Because now it would motivate her. It motivates me. If I want to make money next month, okay, I'm going to put together streams and uploads for you guys to watch if you want to, okay? And if I don't stream, like I took 2 days off, I'm always going to take 2 days off a week. Sometimes only 1 day, but that's rare if I take 1 day off a week. But I'm just saying, if I want to actually have money that comes in next month, I'm not going to come to you guys and scream and yell, I have to have you donate or I'm not going to upload. You better donate to me or I'm not going to do a stream. I've never done that. So that in itself is e-begging. She's putting it right on them. I can't go do live coverage if y'all. And did you hear her? At first, she had said that, what was it? First, she said that she needed X amount of money, and then later says, well, the channel will pay for half of it. I'll pay for half of it. And how is that not e-begging? How is it not scummy? How is it not ridiculous? I mean, it's all those things. She has to know that. She can't get angry at me saying this. She can't be mad that YouTubers feel this way. And then what happens if she can't go? So if she doesn't go to Idaho, how many times has she canceled a trip that she's made money for? How many times has she told people, I need money to go to a certain place and then not been able to go? I don't know that question, but I guarantee you it's happened.
I don't know how I was able to, but those every day.
No, dead. Do you know that potatoes have these little spuddy things that come out of them? Okay. So here, let me type old potato so I can show you what I mean. See right here, see this? This is a potato STD right here. See that thing coming out? Those are the STDs coming out of the potato. They're not pretty. It's not a pretty picture. Because if you were to bake a normal potato and eat it, a baked potato, it's delicious. I love them. But don't you ever take a diseased tater like that and bake it. Because that thing that's coming out, it goes down into the potato. Those weird protrusions on the potato, those things are like in the potato, y'all.
That we wait those numbers go up in like the place that I'm going to be staying at. You know, it's affordable right now. In another week or two, will it be? Because
see, and now she's trying to motivate her audience to give her all the money now. She's saying you have to give me all of this $1,700 now so that I can get it. That is your fault that you don't have that money to go. It's not your audience's fault. It's not on them. Right? Am I off point here? Number one, you shouldn't be having your audience fund your Idaho trip to report on Idaho. Number two, if you are going to make it into a fundraising situation, you should be doing it where it's trackable and visible, like on GoFundMe, so that way, if you don't end up going, they can automatically get their money back. And also, you're not itemizing it. You're not properly showing them what it is, the information they need. And then on top of that, we need to go down the rabbit hole of you lying when you go out and report. Because you said Idaho. So Idaho is where you went and lied about every single thing you put out as a Breaking Betty story. The things you broke, from him being at a field to audio from that night and to several other things, were all lies. And you wouldn't even correct those lies. You are defrauding your audience when they fund you to go and report somewhere, and when you're not being transparent, when you're not going there and when you do lie, or when you don't report the truth, now we know the motivation. You have to convince these paid audience members that you're breaking something when you go. There has to be a reason for you to go. But even more than that, those are all basic tragedy pimping and tragedy fraud raising criticisms. The main criticism and the most important criticism is the fact that you're using these people that have lost their lives and doing a fundraiser. The police would be pissed. You are using this murmur to do a fundraiser, Betty. The fact that these people died is now something you take and you dangle in front of your audience and say, send me money because they died. You are monetizing their murmur. Audience. How is this not her running fraud raisers off of these people being murmured? How is that not the only outcome here? This is gross. This is tragedy pimping. Now, most tragedy pimping that they do is behind a lie, right? So they're sitting there like, I'm on YouTube and I'm talking about this case, and I'm using this case to try to profit in the way that I'm tragedy pimping these people's tragedy to make money, but I'm a reporter. You can't even say that when you're doing a fraud raiser. There is no excuse. There is no defense. There wasn't a defense anyway, but they tried to create a fake defense. That fake defense doesn't even apply when they're funding the money this way, is what I'm trying to say. You know how bad she talked about the survivors and how she should have saved their lives, and all the bad mouth the case was so infamous. It was disgusting. And the fact is, we know though, and there's another level to this criticism, and I'm going to have to get it out here. So another major issue with her going and reporting and tragedy pimping is exactly what Infamous just said. So now when she tried to spit on that man's car, that man's truck in Idaho, when she got angry, that was because she fraud raised her way there. It's bad enough that she shows up at these places and does these things. But if you take away her ability to fraud raise, she shouldn't be able to. You should not be able. I should not be able to run a fraud raiser that's based off the lost lives of a couple that just died in Pennsylvania. So remember the people that committed the pact. The mother, the father, and the daughter all took their own lives in a pact. There should be no reason that anybody in the world does a fundraiser using their death and their names and their tragedy to collect money for any reason if they're not the family themselves. Okay, and maybe if she had a daughter, maybe if there are siblings, they can do fundraisers and use the fact that this happened appropriately. Betty, though, is taking, for any time that she has ever went to her audience and said, you have to pay right now for me to go and report on this or go to this tragedy. And I'm pretty sure, audience, you can tell me, doesn't she do this for every case that she covers? Well, yes, you can. That's the thing about a potato. You can grow a potato anywhere. They're like the cockroach of the vegetable community. They'll grow anywhere, but they're always surface level. You feel me? They're very surface level. Cheesy says almost every one. Cheesy, you have a lot of clips. Any other clip channel out there, if you all have any way to upload clips of her e-begging to go on any case, make sure if you can upload them, or maybe if you can send them into Cherie or something, or Navy. Cherie, I don't know if you can get with some of the clip channels for me. This would be a great job for you because you're good at this kind of thing. If you want to get a hold of some of the clip channels and see if we can get clips of Betty e-begging her way into these, because I want to know what the local precinct has to say. I want to know what the Popo has to say. I want to know what YouTube has to say about people doing fundraisers. I want to know what the news has to say about people running fundraisers, collecting money off of a murder. So people get murdered in Idaho. She goes and says, hi guys, these people were murdered. Send me $1,700. I don't think she thought this through. And I want to know, does JLR do the same thing? Infamous says she does it with every case, and then she says she's going to pay for half, and how she doesn't have a job and she's going to pay for half with the other subscribers' money donated. Yeah, this whole thing about paying for half is insane, because the only money she has in her pocket is from subscribers, is from her, playing these kind of tragedy pimping games. So she is not paying for half. That's just a lie she's created. Her subs are paying for everything, regardless. Headstones, you all right? You feeling bad? I just got over it myself. I hope you feel better. She increased it a few $100 overnight too. Really? Did this just happen? Is this all new? Does anybody know where on Betty's channel that she said this stuff? Because I'd like to actually look at the... Here, let me tag my mods, because actually Cherie might know. Let me ask. Do we have the original video of Betty begging from her channel? Because this is very important. I'd like to play it now if we have it. If y'all know where any of this is on Betty's channel, if you could tell Cherie, she'll make sure I don't miss your message. She'll put your message in general if I miss it, okay? It was $1,400 at the start of the week. She doesn't even use any of that money she's done this to buy flowers, to send to the victims, the families, or anything. Exactly. She's making money. Like, if anyone should be getting money off of the death, it should be the family of the people that lost these family members. Somehow Betty thinks it's appropriate to fundraise off of people's dying and being murdered and being killed. And she's fundraising off of the trial, for God's sake. She's profiting off of the trial and profiting And now this is the problem. When I say that they're tragedy pimping, I'm making an argument that the totality of their behavior equals tragedy pimping because they've done X, Y, and Z, and because X, Y, and Z is made off of these people having this happen, and because they themselves are collecting the money in while lying and while being dishonest, it equates to tragedy pimping. So you have to have these things. And if I brought up the billboard of doom, then it'd be a lot easier, right? If I have these things right here, like I can say that because she's done these things and this thing here, it equals tragedy pimping, okay? When you're doing a fraud raiser, like Betty just did, sitting there telling people, it's going to freedom, thank you. My goodness, you're too kind to me. When you're doing a fraud raiser, and that's what this is here, this is Betty e-begging, saying, I have to go and you need to pay for my plane ticket and you have to donate the money now because if we wait, it's going to be more expensive. That's your fault, Betty. That should not be a factor in these people donating to you. In fact, you should not be doing a fundraiser off of these people that have lost their lives in any way. And this is why the news doesn't do it. But this immediately equals fraud. This is fraud. I don't have to make an argument in order to argue the fraud of tragedy. I need to make an argument in order to argue the fraud of tragedy pimping. I need no argument to show the fraud of a fraud raiser off of these people dying. This is a knife. So she is monetizing the damn death, the knife. She's monetizing the passing of these people. When she scours the country looking for a viral, a large situation like this, then goes to her channel and says, hey guys, I've got to get a plane ticket since these people were stabbed and killed and died and they lost their whole lives. Now I need a plane ticket. And because they were stabbed and died and lost their lives, I need food. And I'm going to need a hotel because they were stabbed and they died. And you've got to pay me, and you have to pay me now. Because if you wait, it's going to be more expensive for me to get the plane ticket. So you have to send the money now so I can make the reservations. This is gross. Gross. Her last video, is this from her last video?
If you guys haven't noticed, I've been in like all
mods, make sure you share this. HHL, headstones and headlines. Mods, make sure you share that for me throughout the entire playing of this video. My key's sticky.
all this stuff. I've been kind of in a funk.
My key has candy on it. Some right there too.
And I've been in a funk for several months, to be honest with you. And so, like the beginning of the year, I said,
you know what that funk is that you've been in? It's called UNIRock. That's the funk you've been in for several months. UNIRock.
Up all my goals and had things planned, and it's like I always try to follow the goals, but it's hard because there's a lot of goals that are related to collaboration and things of that nature that that were on the goals that I'm realizing aren't going to work, and so it's kind of like I'm just.
You hear that laugh right there? An inappropriate laugh because she is lying to you. She gets her guilt has been rewired in her brain, and it causes this weird kind of laugh reaction whenever she lies.
Really kind of been struggling with creativity, we come on here and I do
yeah, it's really hard. It's hard to be creative when you're not tragedy pimping. And when you're trying just to make normal content, it's very hard because when you finish a creative project, you have to start another. When you finish creating one thing, you've got to create the next. So after a while, you have to do things to maintain that creative energy. I know this for a fact, being a video editor. It's one of the main reasons why I don't upload a lot like I used to. And I've been working to get the creative energy back, make changes in my life, make changes in how I handle stress or how I handle things about my life so that I can upload more often, right? Now, if you look at Betty and you have the guilt hanging over you that you put out audio of a murmur that turned out to be completely fake, and then you got a paycheck of $80 due to the ad revenue and the donations that you made from the fake audio. And then you realize that if you take that video down, your channel isn't going to perform as well in the algorithm. If you take that video down, then you're going to lose the 43 views an hour that you're getting from that video that contains the fake audio that you put out. So you're not strong-willed enough. You're not good of a person enough to be able to take the video down, issue an apology to the family, issue an apology to law enforcement, issue apology to the internet, to YouTube, to all these places that you have manipulated and used in order to put out just the fake audio. I'm not even talking about the lies about Kohberger, the lies and the people you accused that weren't guilty, the things you insinuated, the conspiracies you spread. All of that guilt racks up on you. Guilt like that eats away at your creativity. Guilt like that, and it's even worse than being constantly creative. Being constantly creative will give you a little downtick to your creativity. You got to figure out ways to get it to go up. When you're racked with the fact that you're fundraising off of a murder, where you yourself, the money that you're going to get in your hand when you make the payment for that plane ticket, when you make the payment for a hotel, and when you scam the extra money that you collected into your pocket, that guilt eats away at your creativity, Betty.
Enormous amount of research. If people even knew how much research I did in any given day, it'd make you sick.
It was illegal, absolutely. Oh my God, I love that. BHB and JLR sitting in a tree, kissing. Aw. You guys have the best freaking channel names I've ever seen in my life constantly. Headstone says, and the worst thing, she doesn't even know these children's names. She's been so rude this week. She's hateful. She's a hateful individual because she's racist. She's not working to learn where she's wrong in being hateful and racist from a human perspective. We know that. But on top of that, she maintains racist ideology in her mind. So that's going to make you hateful from the baseline. And then she's out tragedy pimping. That's going to make you hateful times a million and jealous and angry. Then she sees other YouTubers out there like me running a show where I come up here and I commentate on public things going on our platform of YouTube. And she sees that I am as successful as I am. Of course, I'm not bragging like she does about being successful. I'm not claiming I am a big YouTuber. I'm not claiming things about myself at all that aren't just factual things from the past if it relates to some attack she does on me or something. The point is, though, that's jealousy. She'd love to be able to do a show where she can just go to YouTube and look out on YouTube and see what all these people are doing, put out a show and be successful in some way so that she could maintain what she wants, as in the money she wants to make, the subs she wants to make, the goals that she wants to hit. If she could maintain that without tragedy pimping and without doing what she does, I promise you, she would do it in a heartbeat. Why wouldn't anybody? Right? It's even crazy for me to be doing this content itself because I could make better gains doing other content. I like this content. I like going into communities and finding stories that a lot of other people haven't been hitting on from where I'm from the commentary community, right? And I get it. There's a lot of you out there that commentate on these people for a long time, and I'm very thankful for all of you because you have created the base of archival that is necessary for anyone to be able to come in and attempt to hopefully get a large amount of new eyes on your community through connecting commentary to your community. This is something that's not easy to do, and a lot of times it's not possible because if it doesn't fit for commentary, then it can't work. But anyway, in the end, Betty would be doing what we do in a heartbeat. If she could literally sit there and make baskets. So if she could make baskets and do how-to videos and show how she's making baskets, and if she could bring in $10,000 a month from YouTube, are you telling me she wouldn't? Well, let me ask you. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll right now. If Betty could make $8K a month doing basket tutorial videos, would she? Parenthesis, or other vids. So I'm giving you an example of basket making tutorials, but if she could do tutorials on TVs, or if she could do tutorials on gardening, would she do that and stop tragedy pimping? So if she could make 2 times the money she makes, 3 times the money, or let's just say $8,000 a month I promise you, she wouldn't be tragedy pimping.
But, you know, as far as getting out and trying to help, you know, those things that we love to do, that I'm accustomed to doing, have kind of, you know, with I got some other issues going on behind the scenes. That's kind of.
The only issues you have going on behind the scenes is the fact that your doxing and tragedy pimping is getting you in a lot of trouble.
Preventing me from doing a whole lot. So it kind of feels.
Is that Spurgy? Spurgy, I was just thinking about you. I hope everything's okay.
Defeating. I guess is the best word to use, is defeating. So I'm just trying to figure everything out and, you know, just figure out what's going on, you know.
So you're admitting that you don't have all the answers. You don't know everything. You do have problems. Because if you listen to you talk any other time, you would think that you don't. The way that you lie about what I say and do, you would think that you know everything.
Where am I going to go for the next year? Our numbers are kind of scaled out because usually we build our channel by me being out, not inside. I'm not.
Wrong. Absolute lie. Your numbers are where they are, not because of me, not because of nonsense, not because of, I could name like 5 channels, Heels or anyone. Your numbers are where they are because of a greater community of people all standing up, coming together, and finding out what you guys have been doing. And because of a greater community all putting out, you know, whatever content they choose to put out about it. All of these channels have a selection of different people from different places that are learning about what you do. And every single channel, every time they upload, every time something's made, every live stream, more and more and more people are finding out. Now, when that happens, there may be people that watch you and support you, and they think you've been honest with them about your Idaho trip. They think you've been honest with them about maybe the Koberger thing, or maybe it was the audio from the Koberger thing, or some other story, or some other thing that you absolutely lied about. Maybe they think you don't dox people. And when they learn the truth, they stop watching. They stop supporting. And you know what's crazy? A lot of them end up not on my channel, because I'm pretty abrasive when it comes to the demographic of people that watch true crime. But a lot of channels like Jonesin and Cheesies and Deetzes and all these people out, Nonsenses and others, they are a better fit. And so they'll, you know, while I do get people from the community that decide I'm going to watch this guy, I'm going to sub, you know, these other channels get more of a reaction. They get more of a response and from the people that watch Betty. But you know, do I think that the people who come to me and DM me or send me a message or write my mods and they say, I used to watch Betty, but I've stopped because I saw what, you know, the proof, the evidence of what she's been doing, and I didn't realize she was lying to me. Do I just think they're lying? Because I guarantee you are here sitting and saying that this is a fact. You're saying it's factual that your views have gone down, that your interactions have gone down, that your money has gone down. So again, I think we need to go where the evidence leads us. I think that the fact that the reason you're experiencing this is because people are learning the truth about you. That's what I think.
Inside type of person. And I've been inside quite a lot over the last year. So
that's true, Voodoo. No, Voodoo, Sue, you make such a good point too. You guys are always making good points. I wish I could read all of them. Voodoo says, no, she needs the hate. Even if making baskets was triple profit, she wouldn't do it. Well, see, I'm glad you guys are, you know, giving your opinions, because that's why I ask you. Amberly says that she has to do this without Olivia and Mooley. She doesn't have a backbone to do this alone. But if she's alone, she'll start watching crap. She'll say it's too dangerous to go alone. I bet you're right too. And a lot of you guys are disagreeing with me that she would do something different. And make sure you tell me why, because I think Voodoo just corrected me a little. So I hope if you do have a differing opinion, type it in.
You know, trying to find those things. We're definitely, and that brings me to another thing. I just want to thank to all of the people in here that are contributing to the Idaho trip for June. I do appreciate that. We did raise.
Okay, so this is more of the clip we just watched. Okay, good.
Just yesterday alone, raised $150. I retallied everything up, and it looks like it's going to be about little under $1,400. So I figured if the channel raises half of it, I'll pay for half of it as well.
See the lie here? Do you see how this woman just said, if the channel raises half, as in the people watching give me half the money to go, which would be $700, I'll raise or I'll pay the other $700, right? So, you know what? She is, you know why she doesn't do it on GoFundMe where she should be doing it, where you know, YouTube needs to put a rule out in their TOS. And it needs to be that if you're going to do a fundraiser, it needs to happen through a trackable site. It has to be publicly tracked. Because it's only like, GoFundMe only takes a very small amount of money. I was shocked to find out how it's like 1%, if not less, that GoFundMe or those websites take, because all they do is they keep track of your donations, and they offer a risk management team that goes in and can refund money to people if she was just to run off with your money. Or if you found out she lied to get your money, you can get it back. It's one of the main reasons Molly, her, and others won't do a fundraiser the right way. Now, that's different. And fundraisers that would be her stating she wants to take a vacation, her stating she wants to buy a computer or something like that, I am in complete agreement that it doesn't need to be tracked on GoFundMe. It could be or it couldn't be. If you're the recipient of the money and the money is going to you in a recreational thing, a relaxational thing, or something like that, or like a possession, like a guitar, a computer, a piano, then I think that you don't have to have a third party. There's a reason you don't. It's because she's not supposed to keep money. If her audience gives her $1,400 to go to Idaho, though she does need to understand why she shouldn't be doing this in the first place, because she's making the money off of the blood and suffering and death and murder of those people. Factually, I'd love to have her try to explain how she's not funding that money through that. But the main reason, though, is if she was to take in money for recreational or something else, she gets to keep that money. She gets to spend that money. Like, the money is going to treat her, if you will. You see what I'm saying? The difference is there, right? Just want to be specific.
Wow. So right now our new goal is $550 that we need to raise, but this is the deal. We need to raise it in the next 2 weeks because I got to make accommodations. Otherwise,
we have to raise it in the next 2 weeks. So you're fundraising for 2 weeks, time limited. Isn't it funny how they add the same excuses to every fundraiser, right? They're fundraising and it has to happen now so that it can save Marvon and the grandchild. So you got to give money right now. It guarantees that more people are not going to think about donating money. They're not going to actually weigh whether they should donate money mentally. They're just going to give emotionally or instinctually without the thought, without the decision-making process. It's an incentive to have them not think and give. Just like in the Letitia fraud raiser. And she's adding this onto her fraud raiser. You have to give me money so that I can report on this story. Every day I wait, the plane ticket's another $10 or $20. Costs more money for me to go. Right? You shouldn't be doing this anyway, this time-sensitive thing. You should be saying to everybody, you need to be honest with them, if I need to fundraise to go, it's $1,400 if I buy the tickets in the next 2 weeks. But if it's after that, it's going to be more expensive, so I'm going to have to fundraise more money, is how you should be saying it. You should not be saying that you're going to fail. You should not be saying that you have to do it now, because you know that that's trying to, you need money for something. You need money for something, and you want these people to give you money right now.
Every day the airfare is getting more and more expensive. It just goes up like
our top. You're right, buddy.
$10, $20 almost every day. So the longer we wait, the more expensive it's going to be. So just FYI, if you guys would like live coverage of the preliminary hearing.
If you would like live coverage, lying. You could, how many times have you sat there playing court coverage with no commentary, just re-streaming someone else's stream, even though you say that that's against terms of service, that people can't re-stream streams and re-stream content that way and all this garbage. How many times have I shown you or seen you just in the last week sitting there for hours streaming, 12 hours, and the majority of your stream is just you showing the court thing? So no, you're lying if you like live coverage. No, because even if you, why does it have to be you being there to give live coverage? I can give live coverage without being there. This is where the lies are inserted into the fundraising. Now, by the way, this is an immediate fraud raiser. There's no question to whether it's a fraud raiser if you are monetizing the murder. Hey guys, I need to take a vacation next week. So if in the United States there's a big murder, I'm going to attach it to my vacation and take a vacation. Hey guys, I need to make a lot of money. But if I just try to tell you I need $1,700 right now, then most of you probably aren't going to give it to me. But if I tell you that it's because these people got murdered and I attach it in some way, you're probably going to give me more money.
Obviously, it's a hot topic. You know, is Bethany Funk going to show up? What's going to take place at that?
Don't forget, she still has her wedding registry for that $3,000 camera. Yeah. So she's not even, like, for someone that sits and screams about how everyone should follow the rules or whatever the hell she's constantly screaming there. And that, you know, everybody's wrong if we dox and they say something, or if they report us for doxing. Everybody's wrong if they do that. Thank you, whoever gave me a donation. Thank you so much. And if any of you do, it's paypal.me/UNIRock or $UNIRock on Cash App. Unlike Betty, I'm not going to motivate you to donate there. I'm not going to tell you have to. I'm not going to tell you that there is some time-dependent thing, or that there is some thing that's not going to happen if you don't donate. I will do my content even if you give me $0 for the next year. I'll do just as much, maybe even more content, regardless. And that's a big difference, because these people immediately will scream, but UNIRock has a pay link. So does every other live streamer on the platform. So does every other content creator on the platform. Look at one of my favorite content creators is H-Bomber Guy. Now, mind you, I completely differ with this man when it comes to politics, when it comes to many things. But I love his content and I appreciate his differing opinion on things. And he has a Patreon where it takes 5 minutes for him to scroll all the people on his Patreon. And I don't think there's a single thing wrong with him having the Patreon. And I don't think there's a single thing wrong with any other creator having pay links in Patreon. What's wrong is if your content is like, I guess I'd have to say without rambling, tragedy pimping. If your content is lying, if your content is some form of monetization of dying people murders. And I don't consider reporting on a murder to be monetization of a murder. I don't consider a documentary. I don't consider a video on it. Now, J Station, our top brought up a content creator named J Station, somebody who we covered a lot back in the day. And he used to take and fake a friend of his dying so that he could get a bunch of money, a bunch of views. My girlfriend died. Oh my God, faked her death and all this garbage. He would, when a celebrity died, he would do voodoo doll, 3 a.m., Kobe Bryant, you know, somebody who passed away, he would try to contact them with the Ouija board at 3 a.m. the day they died, right? Tragedy pimping, clickbaiting, making money off of the death, whereas somebody doing a documentary about what happened, doing a documentary or making points or including it in a documentary is not. You just can't get through to dumb people like Betty and JLR. But really, are they being dumb? Yeah, they are, but at the same time, they know that they're being dishonest. They know that it's bad, and they know that it's wrong.
Hearing, I want to be there, and we've got the cost down very, very, very reasonable. I don't know how.
I will. I really will, Voodoo Sue. I know I haven't, and I'll get to it. When I start uploading, they'll hit fast and hard. But I've got a lot of content when I don't stream, like days that I don't stream. I put a lot of time to it, so it won't be too much longer. I don't think.
How I was able
we'll
to,
see.
You know, those every day that we wait, those numbers go up. In like the place that I'm going to be staying at, you know, it's affordable right now. In another week or two, will it be? Just to let you guys know, I'm trying to get there, and I need to make my reservations here soon.
So she's just e-begging every day. So she's literally just e-begging every day, just e-beg after e-beg after e-beg.
If I'm going to be
This, just in case you missed it, that was this is the day before. So yesterday, this was uploaded, and the first part of it was from that day, and then this right here is from the day before the upload. Thank you, CC, for the sticker. Oh my gosh, that thing's awesome.
Going live from there. I got the cost down to about $1,200. So if we
What? So you started off at 1,200, then it went up to 14, and then somewhere you said 17.
as a group can raise, more than $600, I'll pony up the difference. And
you aren't ponying up anything. The only money that you have comes from your channel. You're not ponying up anything. You should be paying for all of it. Why aren't you, by the way? Why aren't you paying for the whole trip? Why aren't you taking the donations you're getting on CASHAPP or PayPal or wherever and paying for the trip? Why are you doing a fundraiser where you're saying, hey guys, these people were murdered and I want to go hang out up where this happened and I need you to put money in my pocket because they were murdered.
And go out there, but this has got to be something, this will be my third trip out there and it's not cheap. And,
Dead says she's taking a big hit in the pocketbook. It sounds like you're right, Dead, because we just got done playing a clip from Betty admitting that her views and her money's down on her channel. So I wouldn't doubt that that's not related to part of this.
Everything just keeps going up. So the sooner I can get my plane airfare, the sooner, the cheaper I can get it. If I keep waiting, it's going to get more and more expensive. So I'll let.
Well, you, that's on you. You should have saved money to go do this. You shouldn't be allowing yourself in this. You say that, don't ever say that you're media or that you're a reporter ever again. Never say that. I thought, you want to brag about how many views you get and how much money you make and all this garbage, right? The only reason that people talk about me is so they can make money off me. That's the same thing Molly was saying. Same thing every person we've ever talked about says. Oh, just making money off me. You're jealous is what it is. But don't, you sit and play this game. You're not showing anything in any of these clips. You haven't itemized anything. You haven't shown them how much money it's going to cost to do any part of what's there and why you need the amount of money you do.
I'll let you guys decide. I heard other creators may be out there, but this is for our channel, not theirs.
What? Wait a minute. What about the fact that you have been streaming other court cases, right? Why can't you use what the news is saying to report? Why do you have to literally constantly fundraise? How many fundraisers has she done? Let me ask you guys, because y'all know way more than I've underestimated your knowledge. How many fundraisers has she done? Question mark. So we're going to do 1 to 5. We're going to do 5 to 10. We're going to do 15. We're going to do 10 to 20. And we're going to do 20 plus because I can only add 4 options. So if you guys do vote on 20 plus, I might do another poll where it's like 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. Only answer this poll if you have an idea, though. It doesn't have to be perfect, just if you have an idea.
And, the only way we're able to use other people's content is by permission, which I do have permission to use.
No, that's not true. It's called fair use. It is called fair use, not permission. Permission's nothing. Now, if you do have someone's permission, you can use their content without respecting fair use. So let's say I want to use your content and it's something you're filming. It's not a collection of other people's stuff, and you go film something and you give me permission. I could still choose to make it fair use so that you don't come back later and try to claim and lie and say that I didn't have permission. Or you can't try to demand later that you want me to take it down or something because you don't like me or something like that, or I said something that pissed you off. I could still do it under fair use, but I don't need your permission. I can do it with fair use. And if you did give me permission, I could still do it with fair use, which is a smart thing to do. Though, if I have your permission And I've had you, write an email to me telling me that I can use this. I can use it forever without any conditions on it. And I decide to include 5 minutes of your content in my video. I can do that with permission. But don't get it twisted. If they've used your content under fair use, they do not need your permission. Do you know anything? Do you know anything about the YouTube game? Or are you just out of your mind? Have you completely lost it? Have you lied so much that you can't tell your lies from reality anymore? Because it does happen to a lot of people.
Content, but it's not our content. And it's not, so I'll leave it up to the channel as to what they would like to do. But that's where we're at with that. And this is going to be the 26th of June. But again, I've got to be able to get the airfare and the car rental, and just those alone are almost $800.
So you're going to make your audience pay for airfare and a car rental. And the last time you went to Idaho, you lied every time you uploaded something. You were debunked and embarrassed across the internet. You had illegally streamed the judges against the judge. You've done all these crazy things. You've doxed and attacked and lied on many people, not just myself. You just can't get it right. These are issues that a teenager should be able to handle if they were going to do content. But you as an adult are constantly facing these kind of issues.
So
yesterday she said she may have to sleep. It's mental illness, not back issues, says Voodoo Sue. Lord, I just went through a roadblock with 2 state troopers. My heart stopped. Oh gosh, Amberly, be careful out there. Mona said she clearly said 1,000 per month. Her car says sunshine. Poison says disabled with back problems, but she goes around physically assaulting people but can't have a normal job. Okay. There's some weird stuff going on with this person. And really at some point you have to ask yourself, oh my goodness. So you guys there's 34% of you that says 20 plus, 34% says 10 to 20. We're going to have to get with some of these creators out there that know more than we do. Hey, Bash the Tragedy Pimps, how are you? Oh, I understand. Yeah, I don't expect any of you guys to go through all kinds of stuff or anything, but, I just would like any easily findable clips of her e-begging and to get a compilation put together of her e-begging. This hits me different than most fundraisers, right? Because we've had a fraud raiser before where a man died and he actually was friends with these other YouTubers. They decided to do a fundraiser for him for his funeral. And because he died. And they did a complete fraud raiser. It was disgusting. This hits me even different than that because that's a situation where these people don't respect their friend or their friend's family and they do this thing. But this is a situation where these people they're young people that had their lives taken away. Right? They had the futures ahead of them and they're in college trying to educate themselves and have a good future. And their future is taken from them in the most violent and graphically violent kind of way. And Betty says, I need to make money off of them. I need to have my channel give me money because of this happening to them.
And that's not even including food or room and board. My rule is usually if it's over 14 hours, I'll try to fly. If it's over 14 hours, I'll try to fly. But if I have to drive.
Shut up. You don't have any rules. You can't follow the rule of respecting other people out there and their opinions. You can't respect the rule of not doxing and threatening people. Don't act like you follow any rules Just
Drive, I drive.
hypocritical.
But the problem is that going all the way across, that's just too far. That is entirely too far for me to. I don't mind staying on this side of the United States, but going all the way on that side of the United States, that's just too much for me. It's just too much. Plus,
Crazy, because I just looked up the plane tickets and they're cheap as hell.
not knowing where the hotels are, not knowing how my driving conditions are. You know, for me, I like to pre-plan like lodging and stuff like that. And
You don't pre-plan anything. You use your audience in such a sick way. You use them to take advantage of these people losing their lives. And I have to wonder whether your audience even can think enough, the people that actually do pay for you to do this stuff, can they cognitively realize that they are funding you doing this to these poor people and their poor families? Like, I can't even fathom whether, because you would, trying to be just nice to others, I want to think that these people don't know that they're doing this to this family and to these people, and that they're aiding you in raising money in the most disgusting way using their names. But something tells me that they just don't care.
if I'm taking a trip like that, I could be stuck in a traffic jam and never make it to my point until well after I'm tired. And I just lost all that money for the rental for the hotel, because you have to cancel it within 24 hours of, not the day up. So
That is your idiocy. That's you. You're the one that says you should be looked at as this great creator because you travel around and go to these things. As if it's you doing it. You're making it happen, but you're e-begging it.
I'd be worrying the whole time, LOL. Yeah. And not only that, but the car, I mean, let's be honest. Okay. My black beast is a black beast. Okay. I mean,
See what I'm saying? It's the racism is nonstop with this woman. Like, you've seen her with the white power stuff. You've seen her screaming about how people can kiss her white booty. And now she's using the black beast to describe a dilapidated, broken down, crappy car.
she takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I can tell you that. That girl has never left me down. Like, she'd been close to breaking down before. I remember. You guys think you know me. You guys think you know me. You know I hate Spirit.
No, they don't know you. Your audience, you're right. They think they know you. They don't know you.
Spirit is a bring money with you airline. Like, they finagle these cheap rates just to get you to look, because they know people are looking for the cheapest. But by the time you have to add your seat, by the time you have to add, and they charge you twice the normal cost of other airlines to check bags. So like normal airlines, $30 or $35. They charge you like $69 or $75.
You shouldn't even need that much, based on you're only going there for an extremely short period of time. The last time you were in Idaho, I was shocked at how it's like, I really do think you just go there so that you can run a money collection. Because I don't think you're honest about how much you make. Like, you just said that yesterday you raised 100 or 150. I bet you it was like 5 times that. Way you have these people brainwashed and conditioned, right? It's like Dark Side Phil. He'll come out every month and say, I have to have tips, guys. You have to tip me so that I can pay my bills. Come on, send me tips, send me tips. And if you watch, he'll be on Twitch doing this, and he'll have people giving him $100, $200, $300 a stream in bits and in other donations, like subscribing to his channel on Twitch. You have to pay $5 to do it. It's like membering here, joining here. So this man's making like $300, but still e-begging for tips so that he can make $150 minimum a stream. Now listen to this. It's going to blow your mind. That's for one stream. So what he'll do is start his stream and he'll shut down so that he can go eat and take like a 2-hour break. So what do you think he does when he comes back 2 hours later and restarts his stream? He restarts the amount of money he's made. So he needs to make $300 in a day. $150 in tips. That's money directly sent to his tips, his PayPal, in the morning, and $150 directly sent to in the evening. And sometimes he'll shut his stream down and come back later and do a third one where he resets everything, right? And never, ever does he count super chats, or does he count subscriptions or joining or anything. So Betty is in here playing the same game as Dark Side Phil. Every month, there's a case. every month she's got to raise money, right? And the month before, every super chat, every join, she gets paid on the 21st, all that money every month. But still, she's not instead of paying for her trip with that money, right? She's doing another fundraiser.
$5 to check a bag. Like, it's ridiculous. By the time you literally add up every...
Do you see how she's complaining? Like, normal business expenses for her to go do what she needs to do. She's mad that she has to hand that money out. You want to know why I think you're mad? Because I think, again, you set a number for your how much money you need for your trip that covers everything plus some. And then you make more than that every time you do a fundraiser. And this is why you don't do it on GoFundMe. It's why you don't track your fundraising. You don't let people see how much you raise so that you can make twice, 3 times, 4 times the amount you need for the trip. So every expense on that trip, you shouldn't even be complaining about. It should be part of your funding. You should be funding for the trip, for the plane ticket. You should be funding to check the bag. You should be funding for the hotel. You should be funding for the car and the gas. And by the time you're done, you have to worry about nothing. You have to complain about nothing because it all was paid for by... See, you can't run a fundraiser and at the same time complain about the price of a hotel or complain about the price of the trip or complain about the price of checking a bag. You can't do it. That is, unless those extra things are taking away from money that you're keeping from your fundraiser. It is the only time because you don't get to keep the fundraising money. It's not your money. Fundraising money is not your money. It goes toward what you're raising for, unless it's a vacation, unless it's a thing that you're doing to get, I don't know, buy a computer, or if you're buying a phone, or I don't know what, a tablet, something for your job, then you don't have to track it. But that's why you never see them go to GoFundMe. That's why Molly stopped using GoFundMe. She got in trouble.
Everything you need. You can just... And not only, they've left us stranded. Spirit Airline, remember? Left Olivia and I stranded in freaking Las Vegas.
That was your fault, not theirs. You are an adult.
It cost us $1,000 to get back. Our round-trip airfare didn't even cost us $1,000. I about came unglued.
You come unglued right now. You're coming unglued right now. It would take an unglued person to fund money like you do, because after you do it, you go and sit down and say, I'm a better YouTuber than that person. When you pick a person that pays for their own shit, you pick a person that doesn't do fraud raisers, you pick a person who funds their own coverage, but you're better than that person because you go to on scene. You're not better than them for going on scene just because you're not paying for it. You're not doing it yourself, and you're mad every time you got to spend any money because obviously it's taken away from your greater money collection attempt.
That was one of the most miserable trips. Everything. Like, I'm a penny pincher. Like, I'm a penny pincher. I'll just leave.
That's why you're a scammer. Nobody penny pinches fundraisers. Now, I'm not saying you don't try to have your fundraiser be as low as possible. That's not penny pinching a fundraiser. Penny pinching a fundraiser is where you don't tell people how much money you've made, and then you sit and try to pocket as much as possible. That's penny pinching. And that's what she's doing.
Leave it at that. And I just wanted to keep the costs low. So that just, like, it burnt the whole, like, I ended up losing a crap ton of money on the first year.
You didn't lose any money. None. You just didn't get to keep as much money as you wanted to keep.
Trips that I went out to Idaho. Like, literally a crap ton of money.
Oh my God. I'm about to freaking love this video.
It's nice to see you guys this morning. A hell of a day, man, already. We got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, got over here to Seattle to get our flight, and our flight was canceled. And I'm so sick and tired of Spirit Airlines. I'm literally, I can't express it enough, guys. You guys got to stay off Spirit. Like, I literally want you guys to call their customer service and just give them help today.
That's, you are not allowed. Number one, you shouldn't want to have people call an airline. You shouldn't be doxing an airline and inciting your audience to spam them with a bunch of irrelevant phone calls to waste their time because you're mad. Because that's what this is. When you experience something at an airline, you need to call and complain. Or if another person was also inconvenienced, they need to call and complain. But if a person calls and complains who was not inconvenienced, who did not go on that airline, you are literally wasting their time, doxing, and wielding your audience as a weapon.
Just to give it to him. You know, I'm so sick of this stuff.
Just give it to him. So sick of this stuff. This is why you're not a reporter. I have never seen a reporter even complain about getting a layover, having a flight canceled, any of these things. Maybe they have on social media or something, a tweet or something. They've never e-begged their audience. They never use it as a method to try to get donos. That's what you're doing here, right? They don't ever dox the airline and have people who follow them go bomb the airline. You are gross. And you know what the sickest thing is? So she is inappropriately doing this to this airline because she got mad that a flight got canceled or whatever she says, right? But if somebody on YouTube goes and tags Team YouTube when she doxes and threatens family members and goes after people's families and all that, she gets angry and thinks it's dirty to do that. This isn't dirty to her, is it? It is dirty. Now, guess what, guys? I haven't told you about something really good. And I don't even think we're going to have time today to hit JLR with a bunch of good stuff I have on him. So we'll do that in another stream. But remember, there were these creators, a good number of Molly simps when Molly was banned. And they got pissed at me and Heels and a few other people because we tagged Team YouTube to try to protect that woman who Molly had taken a picture of her driver's license and put it on screen and doxed a bunch of her very sensitive information by doing it, okay? So we tagged Team YouTube, which I would think anybody would, so that you could protect the person who this is being done to, regardless if you know them or not or whatever. Listen to this. You remember those Molly simps that were all who said that we had mass reported Molly or that we had done something inappropriate by tagging Team YouTube? Guess what they did today and last night? Tagged Team YouTube. And no, I'm not joking. Something happened. They got mad about it and they tagged Team YouTube. Interesting, isn't it?
It's going to end up.
Bash says, check her video from 3 months ago. It's tagged Spirit Airlines and Olivia is on the thumbnail. I want to see if any of my mods can grab that for me. Throw it in the bottom of general. And our top, bro, you are killing it lately. If any of you guys need any art done, our top does art at a very respectful rate. And he goes above and beyond. He's in my chat. All you got to do is tag him if you need anything done. And our top knows he's allowed to tell people to tag him if they need art done in my chat. He does great artistic work. He really does. So check him out. He'll hook you up with anything you need too. Very, very fair commission.
Ended up costing us over $500 to fly home today because our round trip airline.
500. You just said 1,000. You just said 1,000. Wait a minute. Are you lying? Are you lying, Betty? Because you said 1,000.
Line that we budgeted, which was total $500, brought us back on Spirit from Seattle to Las Vegas. We had a layover in Las Vegas for 4 hours, and then we were going to be heading to Tampa. And they canceled our flight, and Olivia wants to get home today. So $500, we just had to fork out so we can get home today.
You didn't have to. You could have waited. Wait a minute. You could have waited. You didn't have to go with Olivia. You could have chosen to wait and then, be laid over for a day. It happens to a lot of people. So you decided to go with Olivia. And because you chose to go with Olivia, you had to pay extra money. So now you're going to go to your audience and simp them out for extra donos.
And so we're here. And I'm not a happy camper. I can tell you that right now. So
Yeah, so I just had $400 of the profits that I was going to keep from fundraising for this trip down the drain. So instead of making $9,200, I'm going to make $8,800.
And then listen to this. I brought the bag in. I haven't added anything to the bag.
She forgets the internet is forever. Well, you see, with someone like this, they are called, and we know this, pathological liars. And pathological liars lie every time they tell a story. Okay? Their lies, if you actually listen to every lie they tell, every iteration of their lie, you're going to notice that what you need to do, if you don't do this, I just want to give you a little thingy here. What you need to do is every iteration of their lie, listen for where the lie changes, and then ask yourself a question. What does this lie do? Now, if you do that, you're going to notice that it makes them more of a victim every time. Every change in details that they change. And it's how very disgusting, very sick in the head pathological liars work. Every little change to the lie makes them more of a victim, makes them have more of a problem that you can solve through your sympathy. You could solve it through money. You could solve it through whatever. Next time they go to do something, give extra money to them in case anything happens, right? And you'll notice every iteration of that lie, every change to that story makes that victimhood and makes that problem they have worse and worse and worse. Remember here in the beginning, now we have heard her say that it was $500 extra money to go. And you just heard her admit that they only chose to go because Olivia wanted to go home. She just admitted that they didn't have to go. They didn't have to fork out the extra money. They could have waited probably 8 hours, 10 hours, 4 hours. And if they really wanted to throw a fit, they could probably talk the airline into getting them a hotel right next to the airline, compensated to them or free to them or something. But instead of waiting so that they could take their flight whenever the layover was, whenever the next flight was, whatever, for free, they decided they're going to fork out extra money and go. And Betty didn't want to sit alone. She wanted to get home too. So she's created a story that she had to go. Now, again, this iteration of the story now, which is what, 3 months later, however many months later she tells the story, now the money is tripled that it cost her. And there's no mention that it was optional. There's no mention that she chose this, right?
I haven't bought anything. I packed it up, got it here. And then Delta turns around and charges me an additional $100 because I'm a few pounds over their 50-pound minimum or maximum. And I'm just like, this, I don't think I'm going to ever fly again. I think no matter what, I'm just going to drive, even if it's cross country. I think I'm just going to drive and stay in hotels. I don't know if I'm going to do flights anymore. I'm like so disgusted with all this shit. This has thrown our budget like off. They have to drop $1,000 today. I'm not happy.
So, wait a minute. She just said they had to drop 1,000. She's saying that 500 is for Olivia and 500 is for Betty. Why did you just say that they? Why did she use the word they? Wouldn't it have been Betty had to drop 500? Is she lying? Did Olivia pay for Betty's extra money? Did Betty say, no, Olivia, I can't afford to go home early like you. I need to wait on the layover. I don't have the extra money. And did Olivia say, I'm rich. I'll give you the extra money. Let's go. I'm really thinking that that's probably what happened. And then she said, now I'm going to go tell my audience that I had to pay the money because it'll make people give me money. I don't know. It's possible.
But hey, we're coming home today, right? Yay. $1,000 to get home today.
Oh, she would. So would JLR. So would Molly. They would be the most prolific billionaires on the planet if lying was a job for them. All right, y'all. Let me see here. Okay. So, I have a major issue with Betty doing fundraisers at all. Because when you have a liar doing fundraisers, listen, one of the main things when we busted the fraud raiser ring was that people trusted those people. People had said, well, they've been on the internet for 5 years. Their channels have been around 5 years. And we give them money all the time. There's no way they would rip us off like that. And of course, my cynical ass is coming in doing a playlist called Crowdsourced Criminals for, 6 years at that time or something, 5 years at that time. No, wait, hold on. It was 2019. So yeah, 5 years at that time, 4 years. I'm saying that's how it always works. People only build a trust with you on the internet over time and then end up using that trust in a fundraiser because they're ripping you off. Any good person knows that there are so many people out there that may not have been following them for 5 years. There's a lot of people that only followed them through 2 weeks or a month or a year. The whole 5 years, they only had 1,000 subs, and only in the last year and a half did they even break 10,000 or 20,000. So, of course, they're going to make sure that the fundraiser is tracked, that you know everything that's going on, that they're not going to spend money on anything else. They're not going to profit or keep any money, especially when the fundraiser had to do with one of their friends dying. But then again, as it always goes, you should never have any level of trust with even a person on the internet like that. They should make it when you can make a choose. So you got two options in the beginning. Get those fraudsters uni, and also answer my emails. Make sure you send it to Cherie and Navy, and we'll make sure to answer it, okay? Because they put an email in the chat. Make sure you send it to that email, okay? And I will. Because they'll come to me and let me know, like, hey, you've got an email and this is what it says, and then we'll figure it out. But like, here's how every fraud raiser starts like this. Every fundraiser starts like this. Either or. They come to you and they have a single decision to make in the beginning. This goes for the good ones and the bad ones. They're saying to themselves, I can either press one button and type in my email address and create a password with GoFundMe. So they have a button press. It'll take them 20 seconds to create a GoFundMe account, and everything is tracked. And they are giving you, with the time it took them, this extra 30 seconds that took them to create this, they are giving you a promise that there is an entire team at GoFundMe or Indiegogo or wherever they're using that is going to make sure that if any issue happens, you get your money back. Even if I spend the money and some big issue comes up, you still get your money back because they offer that as a guarantee. Okay? It's why people use GoFundMe. Now, you could also choose to just have them send the money to a PayPal account. Now, every good creator, everyone that's not going to choose to keep money from you, to keep money from that fundraiser, to lie to you in that fundraiser, they're going to choose to not have it tracked with 10 seconds of their time so that they can get away with the fraud. Because yes, collecting money, lying to collect money, or inappropriately collecting money is fraud when you're using lies to get that money or to increase the amount of money you would have gotten. Okay. And it's one of the, you have to ask yourself, why do they not? Why don't they take the extra 10 seconds? Why don't they offer you all the protections that it gives you? It also takes so much weight off of the person running the fundraiser. They do not have to track receipts. They don't have to spend all this time clicking all these things and, hold on. They don't have to spend all this time collecting the receipts all in one place because GoFundMe does that. They do that just when you donate. They don't have to go in if there's an issue, seek out every small place where that issue may have happened or affected and fix it. You feel me? They don't have to do these things. It is Friday, and of course, because it's Friday, I'm going to want to stream with you guys a little more than what I'm doing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off here. I'm probably going to roll over to Kick, hang out with the mods, hang out with the peeps, talk, chill, do something like that for a bit over on Kick so that I can see if we have another stream to put together for later tonight. If we don't, I'm going to work on editing videos. So I'm going to jump. I'm going to get out of here. We will be here tomorrow, and I've been putting together a video to kind of express a little bit more of what the problems are with JLR and Betty, because they've decided to inform me that they are vicious, disgusting doxers, and that they will go after people who do truthful tellings of what they've done in the past. They don't even bother to go after people that lie on them. They don't bother to go after people who are doxing or looking them up in an inappropriate way. They pick people out there who do shows, who do content, and if they appear on it and they don't like what they see, they decide to dox. So what we need to do as a community is make sure that everybody out there knows that when you're targeted by these two and their friends and people that support them, that people need to know the links that they're willing to go to. They need to see the proof of what they've done in the past and what they're doing now. And it needs to be up front for anyone that gets on YouTube. It needs to be out in the open, right? Just as much as my stuff, all of it's out in the open on my channel. It's right there ready for you to click and see all of it. And that's what they need too, because they have taken measures to try to convince people that they're not doing anything wrong and that they're not doxing people, even though now we have video proof of them admitting to doing it, which is extremely strange in my opinion. Either way, though, a lot more content coming at you to document what JLR and Betty have been up to. And then Olivia also seems to think that she has just found a way to just drop all the tragedy pimping she's done in the past and move on. And wouldn't you know it, there are so many other channels out there like 10 to Life and others that, or what is that the name of their channel? It's that lady who did the Dre video and got it all wrong and didn't care and just left it up and just was like, fuck it. Either way, though, we got a lot of tragedy pimping to track, a lot of cringe to laugh at, and a lot of really interesting stories to tell while we try our best to document the early internet on days of our live streams. If you want to support me, it's paypal.me/UNIRock or money sign UNIRock on Cash App. To all of you that hang out, to all of you that chill with me, thank you so much. I really missed you guys over the last couple days. So let's have a great weekend together and see what we can do. Let me go get some content put together and get it ready for you, and we'll be back.